May 22nd, 2021. This is officer-involved shooting number 5 for this year. It's non-fatal officer-involved shooting number 3. And at the same time last year, we had 8 officer-involved shootings, 5 of which were not fatal. The date and time of this call was May 22nd, 2021 at 04:43 in the morning, and the type of call we responded to was a person with a gun. The location of the officer-involved shooting was the 6200 block of Windfresh Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89148, and it's pictured on the map to my left, and this is located in the Summerlin Area Command. The involved officer in this event is Officer Michael Graca. He is 30 years old and has been with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department since 2018. In this incident, Officer Graca was armed with a Daniel Defense rifle, which is a .223 caliber rifle. The investigation revealed that Officer Graca fired 1 round during this incident. Officer Graca is assigned to the Community Policing Division and specifically the Summerlin Area Command. The suspect in this event is Sanjeev Singh. He's a 49-year-old Pacific Islander. He's an adult male, obviously. He's 6 feet tall, weighs 185 pounds, and he is pictured to my left in the photo on the screen. During this incident, Mr. Singh was armed with a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun and a Brico 9mm handgun. During the execution of a search warrant, 2 other firearms were also located within his residence. However, physical evidence showed that he did not fire these weapons during this incident. Mr. Sanjeev's charges at this time, he's been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder with a deadly weapon on a police officer. He's been charged with 3 counts of discharging a gun within a structure within a prohibited area. And he's been charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm into an occupied structure. All of those charges are felonies. The details of the officer-involved shooting are as follows. On Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, at approximately 4:43 a.m., the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Dispatch Center received a call from a residence located at the 6200 block of Windfresh Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89148. A female caller stated that her husband, Sanjeev Singh, was intoxicated and hallucinating. She also stated that Mr. Singh was armed with a firearm. As previously mentioned, Mr. Singh was hallucinating and believed someone was coming to his residence to shoot him. As officers were arriving, the female and her teenage son exited the residence and met up with the officers. She told the officers that Mr. Singh was alone in the house and that he had access to several firearms. At that point, officers began surrounding the residence and created a perimeter. While doing so, several shots were heard from inside of Mr. Singh's residence. At that point, the incident was deemed a barricade. And in situations like these, when a call becomes a barricade, we attempt to slow the momentum and call in additional resources to assist us in contacting the person that's involved in an attempt to resolve this peacefully. Officer Graca and his spotter were providing containment near the residence and were posted behind a parked vehicle. During this time, Mr. Singh stepped out onto the second-story balcony and fired a round toward Officer Graca and his partner with a long gun. Officer Graca returned fire with 1 round from his patrol rifle towards Mr. Singh. Our Special Weapons and Tactics team and the Crisis Negotiating team were then requested to the scene, but prior to SWAT arriving, Mr. Singh sporadically shot at Officer Graca and his partner from inside of the residence. When SWAT and negotiators arrived and took over the containment of the inner perimeter, they immediately attempted to de-escalate this dangerous and volatile situation, and at approximately 6:56 a.m., Mr. Singh stepped out onto his second-floor balcony while holding a shotgun in his hand, and a short time after that, he stepped back into the residence. A few minutes later, he stepped out of the front door of his residence armed with a shotgun, and he quickly placed the gun on the front lawn and stepped back into the residence again. At approximately 7 a.m., Mr. Singh was peacefully taken into custody by SWAT officers after he exited the rear of his residence and jumped a rear wall into his neighbor's yard. And we will now show you the body-worn camera video from the officer-involved shooting.
Okay, I got you. Keep looking.
See him inside, but he's not.
Oh shit!
One DC-1, he just took a round toward the. Or take the fire, just took a round.
Nope, I shot.
One DC-1, OIS. Officer still.
Oh my god! I can still see him. I can still see him. 11:42. Shots fired.
I got
He's still at the balcony area. Just shot towards us. Oh, shit.
You're good. You're good. Get in your house now. You're gonna get shot. Get in your house.
Oh, shit.
Unknown. I don't have visual. If I pop my head up, he's gonna shoot at me again. My partner still has a rifle. Right? You fired, correct?
Yes, I fired.
Officers fired. Got killed all the way. And then did you shoot actually?
Yes, he shot right as I saw the muzzle flash. He shot right at us, and he's still there.
All right, so as you can see in that video and as you can hear, you could hear the first round, which was fired by Mr. Singh at the direction of the officers, and then you see the one round fired by Officer Grace back towards the suspect. And now we're going to play footage from this event where the suspect you see comes out of his residence and he's armed with the shotgun. And this is video of Mr. Singh coming out of the front door and placing the shotgun on the grass. So I think when you look at this incident, it's really important to note that the officers involved in this and the amount of their tactics and their training and their ability to de-escalate this was what brought this call to a safe conclusion where the officers were uninjured even after being fired at, and Mr. Singh was safely taken into custody.